Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, and Daniel Romalotti, Michael Graziadei, are getting hotter, according to Young and the Restless spoilers for the upcoming week. Additionally, Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, is pushing her way into areas where she is completely unwanted, and Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, is raising suspicions about Claire Grace Newman, Haley Aaron. Therefore, the wedding of Danny Romalotti, Michael Damian, and Christine Williams, Laura Lee Bell, is approaching, as well as the November sweeps, which begin at the end of October. Naturally, Phyllis finds it intolerable that Christine is having a happy life with the man she has always desired. But who didn't desire her? By the conclusion of this week, Phyllis was bothering Danny and Christine by sitting down at their table without permission, as she did not receive an invitation to their wedding. It was as though Phyllis would never be invited, and she knew absolutely nothing about it. It's absurd, really. She was disappointed because she was unaware of Danny and Christine's impending marriage. In addition, I recall a chat I had with Danny and Daniel some time ago about their engagement and how Phyllis would undoubtedly find out, but no one wanted to be the one to tell her. So yes, it has progressed significantly. Danny was adamant that he wanted to inform Phyllis directly. However, he claims that she has been difficult to find and that she is definitely quite involved in Kane Ashby's, Billy Flynn activities. After that, Phyllis performed her typical song and dance, boasting about how amazing her life is, how her career is going, how she has taken over the globe, etc. Then Christine whispered to Red, "Avoid our wedding." Phyllis said that she didn't want to see Christine wearing a terrible wedding gown anyhow. All I can hope for is that Phyllis doesn't ruin her wedding gown. You mean there's no telling? Danny advises Phyllis to simply let things go. He then makes the amusing statement, "Sorry, I didn't invite you or tell you about the wedding." Because I don't think Danny intends either. Why would he ever invite Phyllis to his wedding to Christine, after all? This time, she and Danny will be together forever, according to Cricket. However, Phyllis was making fun of her by stating the standard bullshit about Danny leaving Christine shortly. The Bug then retaliated against Phyllis for being lonely, and Christine claimed that she would never be able to maintain a relationship. Since Phyllis doesn't even believe they'll make it to the church, she retaliated by saying, "Christine can't make Danny happy." Christine added that Danny is always there to support her. They even begin kissing in front of her after that. Phyllis believes they are trying too hard and putting on a show. Danny and Christine decided they were going to have the most amazing wedding ever after Phyllis finally left. However, their bachelor and bachelorette celebrations must be held. You would assume that Phyllis would just ignore it, forget about it, and concentrate on her current situation. However, no. Christine is completely appalled by the Young and the Restless spoilers for next week, when her bachelorette party is interrupted by Phyllis. There are all of Genoa City's other influential women present. However, it appears that Phyllis' invitation was misplaced in the mail, because it was never sent, you know. Disgusted, Christine wants to know why Phyllis is there. Furthermore, it appears that she will not be amicable about this and will let Danny and Christine to get married without creating as much drama as possible. I do believe that Danny and Christine will become man and wife, and I do. But I also believe that Phyllis will remain a nuisance until they are able to wear those rings. Then she might not even stop. On Young and the Restless, Kyle surprised and irritated Claire this week when he unexpectedly arrived in Los Angeles with flowers and a request to speak. In an attempt to get Claire to accompany him home and put Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, out of her mind, Kyle mentioned Harrison Locke, Redding Munsell. She refused to move though. When Claire turned Kyle down again, she did so in a very courteous manner. However, he later stated that he would remain in Los Angeles for a few more days in case Claire chose to travel home with him or spend some time with Kyle. As anticipated, once Kyle showed up and interrupted the trip, Claire seems much more attracted to Holden and won't accept no. According to Young and the Restless spoilers for next week, Kyle is spying on Holden while he speaks with Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun, while loitering outside the hotel, even though Claire asked him to return to Genoa City. However, after that, Claire sees Kyle snooping on Holden. Claire is also curious about his activities. Kyle attempts to change course and responds, "No, The question is what Holden is doing, and with whom. Kyle is obviously attempting to erode Claire's faith in Holden. It won't work, in my opinion, since Claire is aware that Holden and Sienna are friends and has already met Sienna. Furthermore, Holden wouldn't meet Sienna in a place where Claire might simply come up and see them together if he were trying to hide something from her. Given that Sienna will undoubtedly be connected to Noah's accident tale, I'm interested to see if Holden is aware that Noah Newman, Lucas Adams, also knows her. In addition, the new Noah's face has not yet been revealed in the casting update. Since he is covered in bandages, anyone could be on that hospital bed. But he will be here soon enough. On November 4th, Lucas Adams makes his on-screen debut as Noah Newman, and after he returns to Genoa City, it appears that we will finally get to glimpse his face. That means that when his parents bring him home, he can still be covered in bandages. Because in about 2 weeks, you will be speaking about that. Tessa is also in shock at her encounter with Maria Copeland, Cameron Grimes, this week. As you recall, Tessa visited Maria at the Boston clinic once more in an attempt to keep their marriage intact. However, she pushed Tessa away once more, and Maria hardly spoke to her. According to Young and the Restless teasers, there will be some sizzle, and Daniel will be getting closer to Tessa next week. Tessa bumps into Daniel when they are together. They may or may not be drinking. Tessa seemed to be a little inebriated. She bumps into Daniel. Tessa plants her lips on him after he catches her and says, "I got you." And she kisses Daniel passionately. We are aware that he has affections for Tessa. She may also have feelings for Daniel, in my opinion. I'm eager to watch how that develops. A scandal that nobody anticipated will shock Genoa City next week on The Young and the Restless. Tessa Porter and Daniel Romalotti Jr.'s passionate, unexpected kiss. In addition to putting friendships and allegiances to the test, the horrific incident has the potential to destroy multiple relationships and cause emotional distress for some of the town's most cherished citizens. Viewers are left wondering how far these people will go in their quest for solace, passion, and the truth as a result of this gripping plot, which promises grief, remorse, and temptation. Tessa Porter's increasing emotional detachment from her wife, Maria Copeland, is the starting point. Tessa has had trouble finding her rhythm, both personally and professionally, since she returned to Genoa City from her tour. The once inseparable couple appears to have struck an unseen wall, despite their love story being one of the most acclaimed on daytime television. The strains on Tessa's career are getting worse. She has been given the opportunity to work with a well-known music producer, but it would require her to spend months away from home. Maria has been concentrating a lot of her attention on their daughter Aria, who has been acclimating to various therapy regimens due to her hearing difficulties. Although their love for Aria has brought them together, the strain of juggling work, parenthood, and expectations has caused a rift between them. Additionally, there is a developing sense of loneliness that neither lady wants to publicly acknowledge, even though they would never purposefully harm the other. Tessa's loneliness will take her down a perilous path next week, one that starts out innocently enough but soon gets out of hand. Daniel Romalotti Jr. is carrying his own emotional weight. Daniel has been looking for stability and meaning since splitting from Lily Winters. His creative game business, Omegasphere, has allowed him to focus on his career, but his personal life seems to be a succession of closed doors. At Crimson Lights, he and Tessa run into each other while searching for a peaceful place to hide from their problems. A casual conversation between two longtime friends suddenly becomes personal. Tessa talks candidly about the stress in her marriage and her feelings of shame for ever considering a break with Mariah. Daniel pays attention and is more sympathetic to her suffering than she is. He admits that he feels as though his life is in a state of uncertainty and that he still misses Lily. They chuckle about their shared past, touring experiences, and the artistic passion that previously propelled them both. Tessa feels noticed for the first time in months. In turn, Daniel experiences a sense of camaraderie that he was unaware he required. At first, the connection is subtle, a shared grin, a lingering look. However, Tessa's barriers start to come down when Daniel praises her music and remarks, "You make people feel something real." Tessa is revising a song about lost love and emotional distance late at night in the Hamilton Winters recording studio. The two end up remembering their earlier creative days, when Daniel drops by to offer some design concepts for her new album art. Their chat becomes increasingly intimate as the night goes on. Tessa acknowledges that she believes she has been failing Maria as a partner, and Daniel acknowledges that he has been finding it difficult to forgive himself for the hurt he caused Lily. The strain of two people yearning for connection is present in the silence that follows. Then it occurs. A tentative, gentle kiss. Although it begins as a consoling gesture, the feelings that underlie it soon transform into something more intense, perplexing, and completely unexpected. Both are out of breath when they separate. Startled, I feel guilty. As reality sets in, Tessa's eyes enlarge. Daniel, what did we just do? Oh my God. Her voice quivers as she whispers. Daniel is also astounded and looks at her. I don't know. But we can't let anyone find out. They both understand that this is an irrevocable moment. Maria notices something is wrong as soon as she gets home. Despite her best efforts to appear normal, Tessa's guilt is evident in every apprehensive grin and sidelong glance. When Maria discovers a text from Daniel on Tessa's phone stating, "Last night was intense," she initially believes it to be work-related stress. "We must speak," she says, feeling nauseous. One of the most heated exchanges between Maria and Tessa in years is anticipated in the upcoming episode. Maria addresses Tessa head-on, defensive and hurt. "Tell me the truth. Did you and Daniel have a falling out?" Despite her best efforts to deny it, Tessa's silence says a lot. When she finally confesses, "It was a mistake. I didn't mean for it to happen," tears well up in her eyes, and the ensuing anguish is awful. Maria loses her trust, and Tessa is left wondering how she could have let one impetuous moment to destroy everything they have worked so hard to achieve. Daniel is also not immune to the emotional upheaval. There are whispers that something happened between him and Tessa, and his mother, Phyllis Summers, learns of it. Furious that he would jeopardize his reputation and someone else's marriage in a moment of weakness, Phyllis confronts him. "How could you do this, Daniel?" She is weighed. "You're more knowledgeable," Phyllis chastises. Despite his remorse, Daniel cannot deny that something about that kiss rekindled emotions he believed he had long since suppressed. For him, connection was more important than mere attraction. However, Phyllis reminds him that a link does not justify treachery. For the next few episodes, Daniel is caught between telling Maria the truth and hoping Tessa can make amends in private. However, the secret becomes more difficult to keep as rumors circulate around the community, with Chelsea allegedly overhearing a heated altercation between Tessa and Daniel. Genoa City becomes a hive of rumors as it is revealed that Daniel and